What's up, YouTube fans? Today we'll take a look at the DX9-Mini Michael Murphy, or their version of a Legend Scale Chromedome. I got this from Dr. Diecast. Thanks for allowing me to take a look at your copy. And this is the second in the most recent figures from DX9 in their mini line. They are coming out with some masterpiece figures, so I am interested and very curious how they're going to do that. Now, this is produced via Magic Square, which is really strange. I talked about that in the unboxing. But you can buy it from Magic Square's website, produced in the same factory, feels very similar to Magic Square. So for all intents and purposes, it is essentially Magic Square with maybe a DX9 designer involved. It does have some paint. You got silver, metallic blue for the eyes, and then orange for the face mask. You have red paint here, white paint with a red stripe, a little bit of yellow paint for these faux wheels, and a little bit of bluish gray, which we'll see in the vehicle mode. That's really it. It's mostly unpainted plastic. It does have that chalky Magic Square feel to it, but it is also nylon, so it's strong. Okay, let's go over the articulation. Head can rotate around. You can lift it up to get a little bit up, a little bit down. It's not really part of that, but you can kind of fake it. Shoulders rotate around on, is that a ball joint? Yeah, ball joint. They lift up on a joint here, and then you can get it up all the way to there. You have a rotation here at the bicep. You have, I guess it's a double joint because there's a joint right here on the back. So almost the full bend out of that. Let me just make sure before, yeah. So this is on a ball peg, and then the other one is a hinge. So up to there. You have a rotation at the wrist. On the waist, you have a rotation. Ab crunch gets you, looks like down to there. For the legs, the hip skirts rotate with the hip and gets up to there. Back to there, hindered by the sculpt, so there's no back really. And then out to the side, is it? Yeah, so if you lift up this wheel hip skirt, you can get the wheel out to the side, but it's very awkward. These hips, just things kind of collide with each other. You have a rotation at the thigh around a mushroom peg. Double jointed knee, full bend. Actually, you only need the one joint, but it is double jointed. You have ankle tilt side to side, forward and backward. The ankles are a little bit weird just because the way they're designed, it tapers off here, and here, so it tends to fall backwards a little bit if you don't balance it properly. It doesn't fall like easily, but if you don't balance it, it will. For the accessories, we get these two red plastic blasters. They look nice. These will fit in the hands. And those are nice enough. I do think they look good overall. For a quick size comparison, there it is next to the New Age Optimus Prime. Tiny bit taller than him, but almost the same size, so it will work well with a Legend Scale display. Alright, now let's get him transformed into vehicle mode. And I have to forewarn you, it's not a fun and intuitive transformation, so just bear with me. But let's take the head off. We can open up the legs, and there is your headmaster. It does have some paint on it, red for the arms, brown for the head. The head does rotate, a little bit of orange and blue for the eyes. Very hard to see. It's kind of cheap looking, but it does work. So let's set that aside, and we'll get started on this guy. So come to the back here, we can unpeg the backpack. Just leave this down here. Open up this panel here. Open up this top roof part. Fold this in. And then just leave that right there for now. We'll take care of that in a minute. Come to the back here. We're going to unpeg these arms. They actually kind of tab into the side of this piece right here. Bring these arms forward. We're going to rotate the hands so that you get the palm facing back, and then fold the hand in so it sits inside the arm. And then same for this one, We're going to rotate the hand so it sits back and inside the forearm. We're going to take all this, rotate this around on both sides. Come to the back here, and we want this. We can unpeg this whole, unfurl this whole front section. Fold this tab in. Then we can fold the arms inwards. These are going to accordion to the outside, and you want the elbow facing like that. So it ends up kind of as an L shape. All right, same on this one. Hand on the inside and L shape to the outside. And we're going to open up these panels here. We're going to flip this around. So it's got to just clear, make sure it clears everything underneath here. And this armature is going to fit in between the two arms. So that's going to go right there. On the front, you're going to close up these panels. They're on a double hinge, so bring them inwards. All of this feels terrible. It just feels thin and flimsy. Push that together, and that'll hold the front together. It already doesn't look like a vehicle, but that's how it is. Push this back so that the arms butt up against the waist. That's kind of how it goes together. And just leave this section forward for now. And we'll come back to the legs. Fold these hip skirts down. Make sure this waist swivel is flat. And we'll come to the back here. We're going to fold the foot down. Open up this panel all the way. Open up this panel so it faces the front. Same with this one. Fold the foot down. Open up this panel so it's flat, and then bring this whole panel forward. We're going to bring this panel up, and we have to flip this around. So we're going to open up the wheel. We're going to rotate this around, and then close up the wheel back again. So it ends up on the inside like that. So I'll show you again. Open up the wheel, rotate this around, bring this down, and then fold the wheel back. This will sit flat on the back of the thigh. So both of them should sit flat. You're going to slide them so they're all the way back. So it just sits like this. That's how we should be looking. Then we can bring this back. This is going to tab in. You can see there's two pegs on the top of these legs. So bring this all the way back and peg that in. It's going into the bottom of here. So line that up. And I'm doing it in a different order than the official instructions. The official instructions are some Chinese video. They don't explain anything. There's no discussion. They don't talk to you. They just do it. And it's not helpful, to be honest. So I'm doing it slightly differently from that. Bring this down. That's going to peg into there. This will sit flat on the top of the hood. Like that. And actually, before we close it up, if you want the headmaster in here, you have to do it now, because otherwise you're going to close everything up. You're not going to be able to fit it. So fold his legs so he's sitting down. This will fit right in here. And honestly, not the best thing, not the best idea, the way they did it, but it does fit in there, just like that. Ugh. All right, bring this back down, and this will fit over the top. So now he's sitting in there. Yay. And now we're going to bring these over. There's two tabs. They're going to go to two slots here. And then there's a puzzle piece tab that's going to go into there. So get these two tabs. Now the problem is, as you push in on this, it flexes. And so it gives way. So what you need to do is stick a spudger in here, get a hold of this from the inside, and then push this against it. And that will tab in. See, now it's tapped in. And then get the puzzle piece in after you do that. Really just a terrible design. I don't know what they were thinking with that. All right, same on this side. It's actually even harder on this one because there's less space to work. But basically, you got that same problem when you push in on the... Oh, that one actually stayed this time. That one worked. And then you're going to get this. And that's going to tab into here. All right, there he is in vehicle mode. And what a disaster. This thing just looks awful. I don't know what happened here. Normally DX9 makes a decent alt mode. You know, it's not the best, but it's usually at least on target. This is not on target. I mean, it doesn't look like it at all. It's got all sorts of breakup and panels. It doesn't roll. This little piece right here, this tab, sticks out further than the wheels. So that hits the ground first. The wheels don't touch. I mean, just look at the back. You know, disaster back here. Doesn't look like a vehicle anywhere. But the only thing that looks decent is this windshield. But they covered it up with this piece from the foot. I mean, just they didn't think it through. And not rolling, to me, that's ultimate failure. You know, having parts that stick below the wheel line. You know, this piece here, I mean, it's just really bad. You can take the weapons, at least, you know, this does help it look a little bit nicer. Put these up here, and that helps with the look, that classic Chromedome look. But man, yeah, what a letdown. For size comparison, there it is next to the New Age Optimus Prime. He has a big car, but Chromedome is always a bigger vehicle than the other Autobot cars, so I think it's okay. It fits in fine with the Legend scale. So final recommendations on the DX9-Mini Michael Murphy. This is a pretty big disappointment for me personally. I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5. I'm not going to recommend it. There are just too many problems with it. Now normally with Magic Square, the materials are this nylon, you know, cheap feeling material, but they make up for it with a beautiful robot mode, beautiful alt mode, relatively fun and intuitive transformation, and a good design. This is missing a lot of those components. First of all, the robot mode, the feet, the way they designed it, because they rounded off the back, he's harder to balance. So, you know, certain poses he just falls over. Also, the ankle tilt, he could have stood to have a little bit more. This is very little. So you can't get him out wide. That's about as wide as you can get him without the foot starts becoming not flat on the ground, and then he has balance issues. I do think it looks good in robot mode, but it just doesn't perform well. Then you get to the transformation, which is not fun. There's lots of little pieces. You have to bend the plastic to get it to stay. And then there's that part where you have to push the tabs in, and the plastic doesn't support you pushing it in. So I had to use a spudger to get it in there. And then you get it to vehicle mode after all that work, and it looks terrible. It doesn't look anything like Chromedome. And so if you're going to sacrifice materials, you're going to sacrifice no paint, you're going to sacrifice a relatively complex transformation, you got to produce and deliver on the alt mode. And to me, this doesn't deliver on the alt mode, and therefore becomes, you know, not worth it. So I don't know. This is a weird one. I hope DX9 does better on the MP scale figures they have coming, Prowl and Sideswipe, because I'm definitely picking those up. I love DX9 as a company. I just don't think this represents their best work. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Dr. Diecast for sending us a review. We'll see you next time.